Hello guys, and welcome back to Bikes and Laces, where this week I'm going to be talking to you about RICE. So the next in our recovery series is the acronym RICE, standing for Rest, Ice, Compression and Elevation. First though, if you are new to the channel, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you can be notified of upcoming videos. We post 3 brand new videos a week, and you can also catch us on our social media channels as well. Okay, so if you've watched that acronym video, then you will know that RICE stands for Rest, Ice, Compression and Elevation. It is a form of self-treatment that you can use at home in order to start to reduce any swelling, start to ease pain and indeed kickstart the actual recovery process. So during this video, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into what each element actually means. So the first one is rest. Now, resting up means completely stopping activity. Feeling pain is your body's way of telling you that something is wrong. It is so easy to follow that mentality of no pain, no gain. However, there are certain times where if you push through those pains, you are going to injure yourself, and then you're going to be able to run in, cycling or whatever sport it is you're doing for a lot longer than if you just stop, rest it up and find out what it is. Ideally, if you've got a lot of pain going on, doctors might suggest resting it up for at least 24 to 48 hours, and possibly the worse the scenario, the worse the pain is going to be. Icing. Okay, this is the simple act of icing the injury. This is easily enough done. You can pick up ice packs or even have a go at making your own at home. The suggestion is to apply an ice pack that is wrapped in some sort of cloth or tea towel for about 15 to 20 minutes for every 3 to 4 hours for the first couple of days. This can start to help to reduce swelling and may even ease the pain as well. Not everybody does have an ice pack or may be able to get access to an ice pack, but they are really easy to make. All you need is possibly a bag of frozen peas or even things like sweet corn, anything that can move around in the pack. I always happen to have a pack of poly peas in the freezer for just an occasion. Okay, so if you want to know how to set up a pack of poly peas, then here is how. All you've got to do is take some frozen peas or frozen sweet corn, something similar to that. Take yourself a Ziploc bag and you want to fill it up. Not too much so that it's completely compacted and nothing can move, but just enough that you can still move it around and wrap it around wherever the area is. Seal it up, maybe just pop a note on it so that nobody else decides to eat them, as these are going to be going in and out and in and out of the freezer and probably will not be edible by the time they get to a certain point. Pop them in the freezer, and then next time you need an ice pack, all you've got to do, grab them out, wrap them in a tea towel and pop them on wherever it is you need them. So the next one is compression. Compression is where you would wrap the affected area in something similar to a medical bandage or sleeve as a way to help reduce the swelling and prevent any further swelling. Whenever you do wrap the area, you want to make sure that it is nice and snug but not too tight. A great way to check this is to check the skin that's just below the wrapping. So if it starts to become a slightly blue colour or a bit tingly, then you've possibly wrapped it too tight and you are starting to cut off the blood circulation to wherever it is you have wrapped. If this happens, all you need to do is release the pressure by unwrapping the bandage and rewrap it, just not as tight this time. Another way you can check, especially if the wrap is around somewhere like a wrist or an ankle, is to press the nail bed down, provided you've not got nail varnish on if you're a lady. As you press the nail down and then release it, the blood flow should come back really quickly. If it doesn't come back very quickly, then it may just be that your compression sleeve is a bit too tight and you may either need to get a slightly bigger one or just rewrap the bandage so that it's not as tight around the affected area. And the last one is elevation. So this is where you would take the injured area and aim to elevate it above where your heart lies. So if this happens to be your leg or your ankle, ideally you want to be resting up, lying down and prop your ankle up on a couple of pillows or maybe a unit or a chair that is higher than you. If it's somewhere like your arm or your wrist, then you may just have to put the arm up for a little bit, or if it's somewhere like your shoulder, you aren't already above your heart rate, so you just want to rest a bit. Elevating the injury can start to help reduce the pain, but also that throbbing feeling and any swelling that you might get throughout. So that's a little more about RICE and how we can start the recovery off. If you need to add a bit more and you're in quite a bit of pain, then you can take some over-the-counter painkillers, such as paracetamol or ibuprofen. Just make sure that you take them with a little bit of food. RICE is not the answer for everything though. Although it can help and it can also be a bit of a self-treatment at home, if you are still getting the pain and it's possibly been quite a few days or even a week or two, then you definitely need to go and get it checked out. If it happens to be a pain and there is a lot of swelling or possibly bruising, or you can't put any weight on it whatsoever, make sure you get in touch with your GP just in case you've done something quite serious. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a great big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. You can also ring the bell to be notified of upcoming videos. If you would like to find out a little bit more about some of the common running injuries, then why not go and click the video here. And if you want to find out a bit more about some of the other acronyms, such as RICE, then why not go and check out this video here.